Hello, everyone. I am Lori Wood. Thank you for joining me on another podcast of Divorce, WTF Now. I am a family law mediator, LDA, divorce specialist, life coach, and of course, creator of Divorce, WTF Now podcast. And I'm joined today with my special guest. We had so much fun last time that I asked him to come back. Antonio Smothers is here.
Right.
Last time we talked about self-care and health and fitness. Today we're just going to dish the dirt and talk about relationships and dating as a young man. So Antonio,
Dum, dum, dum.
I love it. The fun starts now.
Right.
Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Pleasure.
Appreciate you.
Always pleasure.
I had such a great time last week.
Same.
And we were talking this morning because, again, 2 days a week he makes me work in the gym. And we were talking this morning about last week's podcast, and I felt like we covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was one thing, as I thought about it after our show, we talked about people who had never worked out before, and kind of we touched on a little bit what's the first step. And I remember you said kind of walk the walk, do the research, get the eating down.
Yeah.
But for somebody who's going to go into the gym for the very first time, and there's all these different crazy machines, and what should they do? Should they focus on cardio? Should they focus on weight training? Does it matter? If you could just give them a quick tip, then we'll move right into the good stuff.
Sure. My first tip would definitely be to, engage in making a habit out of just going to the gym. So let's get that out the way first. And if that means you get on the treadmill or do cardio, at least you're doing something active.
Something better than nothing.
Something better than nothing.
Got it.
You're beginning to put yourself in the habit. Then from there, hopefully, if you're at a gym, majority of them have professional help there. And then, of course, seek out their opinion, hear what they got to say, and they can actually direct you to the best form of attack. But I'm always going to say resistance training first. Always.
And I hear that you work smarter, not harder with resistance training. It burns more, it accomplishes more, your body changes more.
Yes.
I've seen women at the gym, and I've been going to the gym for years, and I've heard this too. They're working hard on the stair stepper or on the treadmill for an hour plus a day, and they're saying they're not seeing any changes.
Absolutely.
And so adding resistance training, a huge thing. Like you touched on, most gyms offer even a free one shot with a personal trainer to introduce you to the equipment.
Yes.
Fantastic advice. Thank you.
Always.
Okay. So now the fun stuff that I've been looking forward to all weekend. Hope everybody had a good Super Bowl weekend. And if your team didn't win, I'm sorry. Hopefully you're still at work today.
Sure.
It's the biggest call-in sick day out of the year.
But why, though?
Why do they have football on a Sunday? People got a party on a Sunday and then go to work to, see.
It should be that's up everything.
I mean, I know it's Super Bowl Sunday, but why can't it be Super Bowl Saturday? They both start with S, and then people would have Sunday to recover, and it just makes more sense. It's like concerts on a Tuesday. Really?
You're gonna mess up the whole dynamic of NFL Super Bowl.
I know. I should just keep my mouth shut. But it is the biggest call-in sick day of the entire year, which the traffic was lighter this morning.
Man, I enjoyed it.
The gym was emptier this morning.
The gym was emptier, yeah.
So we're not just BSing. It's a real
thing.
It's a real thing. Okay. So, Antonio, I'm not going to give away your age. But as you can see, Antonio is a nice-looking, very articulate, professional young man. And I've had a lot of women on my podcast, and we talk about dating, do's and don'ts, and their experiences. And I thought it would be fantastic to have the male point of view.
Absolutely.
And I asked him, is there anything off limits? And he said no. But we're just going to dive right in.
Okay.
And first of all, if you'd tell our listeners, what's your relationship status?
Relationship status, I am seeing someone currently, so that's my status.
Okay, so ladies, sorry, but he's seeing somebody right now. And how long have you been doing that?
Oh, man. Since last year.
Last year.
So.
And we're not going to get into names or anything too personal out of respect for your girl.
Absolutely.
But from a male perspective, what is one of the trickiest things about either being in a relationship or dating? Let's just start there.
Well, in this day and age, is if a person is very active I would say in the social media world, I would say one of the trickiest things is now knowing how to move in a way that either is going to trigger them, that's moving in a way that's going to like maybe throw them off with how your character is online, because we have two resumes: the resume in person, then the resume online.
That is huge.
Hmm.
And it is a tribute to where we are today. And I
Hmm.
cannot tell you how I'm so glad you brought this up, because from your perspective, it's how do I conduct myself
100%.
on social media.
Yep.
The women that I've spoken to are, what do I do when he keeps following all these good looking women because it's making me insecure,
Yep.
or it means that I'm less than.
Yes.
So yours is, how do I navigate it? How do I
Hmm.
move through it?
Hmm.
And with your industry
Yes.
and your job as a trainer, certainly more followers,
Hmm.
more attention is good for you, good for business.
Yes.
So, how do you move in a way that you don't? And that smile, I know it's been an issue. I know there's been some stuff.
I will say this. I will say that definitely. Like you said, I mean, there's for me personally, I see a lot of my contemporaries that are males, and I watch them slip up right there in the open, and I know women are watching their moves.
Slip
You
up
know,
by answering that DM, or
answering that.
slip
Well,
up
no.
by.
We're going to be on the public side. The comments you're leaving, the actual things you're liking. Like for instance, remember, Instagram has this thing where if you like something and you have mutual friends, they're gonna say, "Hey, such and such liked it too."
So, no matter what you do, you're leaving a track
Sure,
record, you're leaving a trail.
100%.
People are being notified
Mm-hmm.
that you have done this.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
you've got friends, male friends,
Mm-hmm.
that have been out in public and liked something, and straight away their girlfriend's been notified.
Absolutely. Or and then vice versa. So and that's why there's that whole funny joke I seen on Instagram that says, scroll, never double tap.
Now, and a like can really get you into trouble. What does a like mean?
It
I
shows
mean, you like the picture,
but they're gonna say for us it's a right. It seems like it's nothing. That little thing means
right?
nothing.
A double tap and you're in
But
trouble.
that in the social media sphere can translate to, oh my gosh, you left the notion to the person whose post that is, that you're interested, you like them, that you want more of that. It's going to be in your algorithm now, so there's going to be more people, more things like that. All kind of
All
things can
that
come
from a
up.
double tap.
All that from one double tap.
So you really have to watch yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that joke, scroll never tap, is not really a joke. It's what men should kind of live by if they want peace at home.
Or women that deal with the gentleman that might be a little bit more insecure.
I
in
think
so many
that's
ways.
it. And let's talk about that, because it goes both ways.
Absolutely, 100%.
Should it be okay to like something?
That what's funny? Yes. So here's my thing. It's very, where are you guys in a relationship? If
Right.
we just started talking and we haven't developed enough communication or got to that point in our communication where, hey, I'm into fitness, you're into fitness, and I love watch, like for me personally, I'll go watch, I'm a coach, so I'll go watch certain workouts dedicated to certain body parts, glutes and hamstrings. So I'll watch a lot of that. But unfortunately, some of the people that post these things are their first thumbnail for the videos really exotic, or it looks like it's trying to, it's offering, it gives away the idea that
It's
it's more
sexy.
raunchy and sexy, but
Yeah.
it can give the wrong idea unless you talk about it.
So you double click that and you say, look, I'm just gathering information. I'm just doing research for work.
Well, yeah. Which is true, but then if you're
Yes.
but like, so let's say everything else you do behind that doesn't follow through.
Right.
And everybody can use that technique, or not the technique, but they can't use that as justification.
Right.
If you're
No,
a day
you
trader,
got a coach, you got a little.
like,
I'm just watching glutes and hamstrings for just research purposes.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't. Yeah. So for me, but that can lead to conflict, maybe, just because of, oh, so you're looking at, how it can be twisted very easily.
100%.
Glutes and hamstrings. Oh, sure.
Okay, so you're just dating someone.
Mhm.
It should still be okay, although they're watching.
Oh yeah, they're definitely gonna
They're
watch.
watching.
They're definitely watching.
And
Especially
then
if mutual friends.
let's say a little time has passed and you have had the talk,
Mhm.
and you decide we're just going to be exclusive, or we're going to. I don't even think people use boyfriend and girlfriend anymore. I mean,
they do, but they
they
don't.
do, but they don't.
Yeah.
What is the term? What would you say? Or what did you say?
Exclusive.
Okay.
Is definitely one. We go together.
Oh my God, that's rolling back around. That was what we did in high school. We go together.
Yeah, we go together.
That's too cute.
Obviously, yeah, dating. But dating is a little loose because you can definitely say dating. Well, yeah, we're dating, but we didn't say we're dating exclusively.
Yeah,
You know
I'm
what I
sure
mean?
there's been a lot of people that kind of looked for that loophole or that escape route. Well, we didn't say we're exclusive, but let's say you are, and you double tap. Is it a matter of if you do it out in the open and you're sitting with them and look, oh, this is cute, and double tap on it? Is it a matter of how secure the other person is in the relationship on the scale of whether it bothers them or not?
Both.
Both,
because of exactly what you said in the beginning. If I'm in front of you and you see what I'm doing, and I might initiate it, hey, such and such, look at these workouts, these exercises, right? Okay, what do you think of these? Oh yeah, like we could use these. Double tap. Right?
So you're involving them.
Right.
It's less.
But then what about? But see, let's take the social media out. Now we're in public, and I say, damn, she got fat ass. Then what? You get.
Yeah, that's probably not going to go well for you.
But then that same kind of, if we're not around each other and you see me like that picture, you're thinking I'm doing the same thing.
Right. However, if she's secure and you're at home and you're looking at videos of butts and glutes and you're including her, then when you go out, why should it be different if you go, look at that one?
Very true. But it should not be different.
It should not be different.
But again, let's flip it the other way. For me as a man, if I see my girl, I see this habit of just seeing her engaging on a bunch of different photos of my friends or somebody who competing or somebody who just has a nice body, and I just see a bunch of
right, when she's a Starbucks barista and has no business doing that.
But let me go a perfect example. Let me go to their profile. Let me go to that gentleman's profile.
Right.
Which is what everyone does. I'll go to their profile. And now I'll look at all the pictures that are showing just his body. And if she's on every single one of them liking, my eyebrow might be raised a little bit.
And I get that. There's got to be a way, because it's such a tricky thing. And you have to be very secure in who you are today, not to let
100%.
social media, whether you're in a relationship or not, get you down.
100%.
I mean,
100%.
It's not real. There's filters. People let you see what they want you to see.
Yes.
You think they're going to post something that doesn't make them look cute?
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Shout out to interpretive framing.
Right. And for girls, we have been held to it. Whatever beauty standard is popular at the time, we're told to fit that mold. So you add social media on top of that. Then you add your boyfriend poking around on social media, and it's just a recipe for disaster or somebody burning the house down. It's just wrong.
That's wrong.
But there's got to be. In fact, I have a coaching client, and she is in their late 50s.
Okay.
So social media affects all age groups in dating, all of it.
Oh yeah.
And this gentleman that she's been seeing for 6 to 8 months loves to answer and chat with people who DM him.
Okay.
Now, he's been caught on a couple occasions, and one time he even came clean on his own.
Okay.
And when she said, why
are we having these conversations?
Am I not enough for you? Why do you feel the need to engage here?
Right.
Because, well, I know they're playing me for money, but I'm just wanting to see how far it can go. She says, by sending shirtless pictures of yourself. So she came to me and I'm like, do you still want to be in the relationship?
Exactly.
Because if your answer is yes, what I'm about to say doesn't matter.
Exactly.
But I said to him, because he also came to me and tried to explain his side.
Look, which shirt was just off on that.
Right. I just wanted to see how far this could go. It was just, a social experiment. 4 times. But I digress. But I thought, if you're going to continue to do this, you need to, number one, be honest with her and include her.
Absolutely.
Make it, if you say it's truly about catfishing the catfish, let her do it with you.
I've been there.
Right? Okay.
I've been there. No, mine was funny though.
Oh, let's hear it. Catfishing the catfish?
So on Instagram sometimes you get the message requests or whatever. This is back. This is a couple of years back though. And there was the kind that said this image is not suitable or this image is whatever. And so I'm like, ooh, what is it, right?
Right.
And
That
so,
piques your interest.
right, exactly.
Right,
So
right.
so then you can click on it, but when you do it, you got to accept it. So then they'll know that you viewed it, right?
Oh.
And then I think
So
they
then they're
changed it
like,
now.
got one.
Yeah, they changed it now, but it used to be like that. So before I closed, like, what is this, right? So I brought her over. I was like, hey, come watch this with me, right? Right, exactly. And so what it ended up being is a male, um, very oiled up buttocks,
Holy
and started
moly.
twerking on the video.
A man.
But yes, but he hasn't over like a period of like 3 months. He's like 3 or 4 videos, and so we just would get together and like then it turned into what we got this time, right? So it turned
So
into
I
that.
love that
Yeah,
because for her, the number one question, do you want to keep seeing him?
absolutely.
Because, and honestly, we teach people how to treat us.
Ooh,
So if he's done something that is unacceptable to you
mhm.
or is a deal breaker for you, but you decide to keep seeing him anyway,
Right.
you have just told him that your line moved,
Mm,
that deal breaker is no longer a deal breaker, and that
absolutely.
he can do that with probably very little repercussions.
100%.
So when you're coming to me on time number 4,
Mm-hmm.
chatting with a female on Instagram, and you're upset about it, I will still listen, I will still support, I will still talk to you. But at the end of the day, you told him back the first time
Yep.
that it's okay, you can do that. We're going to have a little bit of a blow up, but I'm going to keep rolling with you anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing I can say to you is maybe become a part of that world with him because it's
Yeah.
still going to happen.
Yeah.
And if you're not in it, you're going to feel lied to. We're going to be right back here.
Right.
Or you better tell him, I've decided, even though I moved the line, I'm bringing the line back.
Absolutely.
But a lot of times, if somebody is insecure in the relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and insecure because somebody's looking at social media, often they don't want to be alone or they don't feel like they could find another person.
Oh, yeah.
So it becomes this thing.
Mm-hmm.
You're miserable, but at least you're not alone.
Yeah, so then what? And you're just going to be unhappy?
Right.
Unhappy and not alone?
And I've always thought to myself, and listen, I've had my insecurities. We all do.
Yes.
But I would rather be alone and happy
Amen.
than together and miserable.
That's why people in relationships like, we've been together for 30 years. But
And I hate him.
Happy.
Right. And that's the question.
Yeah.
Because all relationships do this. You're not happy all the time.
Oh, yeah.
There are moments I've met people that she said, I hated his guts.
Mm-hmm.
But we stuck it out and we worked on it till I didn't.
Absolutely.
And I'm hoping we can aim for a little more than I don't hate his guts.
Right.
But okay. So has social media been an issue for you in your current relationship?
Yes. Yes.
I was going to say, sometimes you talk with your eyes. I don't even need you to tell me. And
yes.
I love that. Yes. And has it been the way you were moving through it, or has it been something that she did and you didn't like?
I would say, the way I was moving. At first, I would say the way I was moving in terms of the way I would maybe go about posting, or the way that I would, maybe just be more. I'm not too much cognizant of another person's, emotions or reactions to what I'm doing. So I had to think more about the other person's feelings as we got further and further along.
Okay, so you're going about your business, and like you just said, and I think that's a very honest statement. You weren't cognizant of their feeling. Is that because you had been single for a while?
I would say so.
And it's changed when you were in a relationship?
100%.
And did you become aware of it when she brought you aware of it?
Yes. Well, yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise you're doing your thing, and how would you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And from that point on, now we make a decision. It's either I'm going to continue to do this thing regardless of how you feel, or I'm going to be, I'm going to say strategic, but very aware of my actions and know what hurts you, what doesn't. And I think every person, male or female, knows what they're saying and why they're saying it. I don't know. No.
Right.
There's always something behind it. We're adults. We all know what we're really thinking. We don't have to try to BS it. I think being honest is the best way.
And taking ownership. If you do
ownership.
screw up and hurt somebody's feelings,
Absolutely.
intentional or not.
Yes.
Taking ownership.
Yes.
And so for you, being a coach and you're doing a lot of online stuff,
Hmm.
and your social media is important. It is to all business owners or professionals trying to get ahead in this day and age.
Right.
So you've got to really balance it.
Yeah. Well, and I train a lot of women, which is a great thing. But then it comes with responsibility. See, here's it goes back to what we were talking about. The biggest thing of that is the perception, right?
Right.
So people that might, and then I'm in my hometown, so I live in my hometown, with people that knew me when I was a definitely different person. I evolve, but then they look at me for the person I used to be.
Sure,
Add
that's the
that,
reference they have.
but then add that to the new person. But I still have the I'm training a lot of females, so you still see me surrounded by women. But then you put those two together,
Got it.
and then you're like, oh, he must be with his clients. Not even.
Right.
Right. But then of course if you're a woman that is interested in me and then we end up dating, you either heard about me before and then you go to my page and see me with nothing but women.
Right.
You get
So
what I'm
you've
saying?
got a lot that you've got to overcome just to get out the gate, the misperception.
Bingo.
Because you and I have talked about it, and to be clear, you probably more of your clients are female than male. Would you
In
say?
person, yeah.
In person, yeah.
Hmm.
And there have been women who have let you know that they are interested.
Absolutely.
And I know that you've told me, and I hope his girlfriend is listening to this, that when he's in a relationship, it's business.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if you said it was a hard, fast rule, not mixing business and pleasure, and you don't have to answer, but I know that anybody who expresses interest in you in that professional setting hasn't gotten anywhere, is not going to get anywhere right now.
100%. Yeah,
But
no way.
I don't know. Is that something that your girlfriend still worries about? If you're going to the gym at 5 a.m. to meet a woman, is that still a thing with her? Or did you guys kind of ride that out?
So you're saying is it like the time of day or just
No,
the
no,
consistency?
just that you're out meeting all these women. Does that
Oh,
still plague the relationship? Or is it just the social media thing?
I would say more the social media
Okay.
than in person, because the in person or anybody that I record or work out with, I tend to bring them up in conversation. So what I've learned I need to do is I don't hide any clients, because to a woman that may have her insecurities or traumas of relationships of being cheated on and having to deal with that,
Sure.
I want to make sure that everything is out in the open with all my clients, who they are, everything's out there. So then it makes you feel a little bit more comfortable about the situation. And then if you happen to just meet them one day or anything, now, oh wow, this is that
She
person.
wasn't a
It's
secret.
nothing like that. Yeah,
I like that, but it can also go the other way
it
because
can.
I've had people come in to my office for a divorce, and like, it's with his secretary, and he
Mm,
kept talking about her and mentioned her name for months. So sometimes I think thou profess too much or thou talks
yes,
too much
absolutely.
about some things. So, but it seems in your relationship to work
Mm,
to where everything's on the table, which I think in any relationship, full disclosure is the best thing.
yeah.
Everything needs to be on the table, and I think she's come to the gym with you and
Mm,
met people you're training, which you know, makes her feel like they're aware of her,
yeah, and
not
yeah.
just that she's aware of them.
Yeah, and that's the best and only way, in my opinion, to if you're in a position like mine for
Hmm.
men out there, I would say that's the best way to go about it. And then on top of that, you just have to, again, what you said, you don't want to talk about another woman that much
Right.
about you. Like you can have a conversation about, hey, this is what this girl's going through. Here's how we've been training lately. Here's her diet. Here's what she's going. That's it. You
But
don't.
if you start saying, Lori made me laugh so hard today and this is happening,
You know what I mean? Yeah.
yeah, something's not going to, even though I do
Yeah.
make you laugh,
Of
and
course,
I'm
absolutely.
very
I'm very funny. But that
but
just
that's,
too much.
there's just you just have to walk such a line.
Absolutely.
And women too.
Yeah.
Women trainers and not just um, isolated to your profession.
Hmm.
I meet a lot of people. I see men, women clientele. I probably speak to 500 people in my office in a
Wow.
private setting a year.
Wow.
And so there's been some stories that I've gone home and told my significant other, and sometimes I get a little eyebrow raise.
Hmm.
But at least I'm telling him so he knows.
Exactly.
But sometimes do you go home and tell him that somebody took a liking to you or said
Mm,
something funny, or do you not tell him? Because if you don't tell him, then you're hiding something.
yeah.
If you do tell him, you're making him maybe feel a little something for no reason.
You know what's funny? So I came up with this concept, I think a year ago, 2 years ago. And the reason why I came up with it because I had relationships in the past where the person either, again, heard about what I've been through or heard about me somewhere or scoped my soul, whatever the case may be, right? A lot of times, I rarely talk to a woman that does not already know me and have a game plan on how to deal with me before I talk to them.
That is so crazy to me.
Like off bat, I'm already behind the eight ball. Like almost always. I'm almost always behind the eight ball.
You know, and first impressions are so important, but yours was already made. You've got to come to the table and bring a second and a third.
Yep. 100%.
It's crazy to me.
And so, but what's always, so real quick, what I came up with, wow, you know what? Sometimes too much information is too much. And not everybody can handle certain information.
Right.
So you have to really be able to be very aware of that other person's traumas, what their triggers are, temperament, the best time to tell them something, how to lead into telling them this, or even what I read in that book, the new version of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus.
Okay.
He did an updated version in 2010. And one thing that he said, and they even have this in that Crucial Conversations book, the way they do it is prepare the person for the conversation and what you want the outcome to be. So if I was going to come up to a girl and say, if she were to ask me about, okay, I train a lot of women and here's your background, I would say, look, here's this, or there's someone that's a potential client that's flirting with me.
Right.
Hey, I'll be honest with you. I'm about to tell you something, but I just want you to know, here's what I want out of this conversation. And I want to let you know this because I'm trying to be as honest and forthright as possible. So then you don't feel like there's any kind of competition anywhere. I'm not doing anything behind your back. If I set them up for that, then we have the conversation. You know what I want my bottom line to be.
They know what your intentions are by telling them this.
Yep.
And that has served you well.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah.
So you keep touching on, and I'm, again, you said no limits, but with anything, if there's an area that I touch that you're just like, Lori, no.
Yeah.
But you say this is your hometown.
Mm-hmm.
You live in your hometown. And there is this perception of a younger version of yourself that is different from the man you are now.
Oh, yeah.
I know the man you are now.
Yes.
Tell me about the man you were or the perception that there is.
Oh, man.
If you're comfortable.
Oh, yeah. Used to be a little bit more, well, man, I'll just be like this. I was a little more reckless with what I shared with people. And sometimes I used to share it with everyone, not realizing that not everyone is actually, not everyone is privileged to know your inner, like to be part of your inner circle. Not everyone should be able to.
Not everybody deserves that,
Deserves it, yeah.
Right.
And I used to kind of throw all of my private, the things that I should have kept private, I used to put it out there a lot more.
Okay.
And so that left a certain perception. I did not protect some of my relationships the way I should have until it got to a point where it was really serious,
So by protect, sharing your personal business, or if there was a fight, or if there was a hot romantic evening, all the information was free.
Yes, everything.
And and that comes with age and experience and that kind of thing. But that's a valuable lesson that you learned, and I'm sure it didn't come as an easy lesson.
Well, if you meet someone, here's the other part. It was fine for me when I had a bunch of relationships where these individuals, I say bunch, not really, but when I had the relationships where the other party wasn't very active or they didn't have the need for attention on social media. It's a big difference. Then I meet one person that wants everyone to know their business. Now I'm ball and chain to what they're doing. Now I'm subject to be opinion and everything else because they're throwing everything else out.
Really?
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you date someone, you got to be very careful. That's why I said earlier, be very careful of how active they are on social media and what they post. If they're a person that posts subliminals, if you watch them, see they're very impulsive with the way they post. Ooh, if we get together, that means if she gets mad at me, she gonna.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Coming from someone who's just a little bit older than you. Just a little. We won't go into that. Social media is a bitch. I mean, it's useful, but I think to me, there's much more negative that comes out of it than positive.
Man.
Because number one, people are putting I want to say best foot forward, but they're fake best foot forward.
Yes.
This is not who they are.
It's a prosthetic.
This is most of the time, right? I love that. Most of the time, not what they have or even where they're at.
Yes.
What they look like. So you've got that. Then you meet them. And so, like you, there's this first impression that's been made that more often than not is that, not that. Then how do you know who this person is? Do they post too much? Do they post too little? What do they post? Do they not?
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Because from a male or female from a perspective, we're dating, and then I'm not very active online at all.
Right.
So you're already gonna go, okay, he's probably not gonna post me very much. Okay, he hasn't posted since 6 months ago. So you're setting them up for, okay, she's probably not gonna get shown a lot. Okay. But if you're with someone that's constantly posting, constantly showing their day to day, how come they haven't posted me yet?
Oh my heaven's sakes. I didn't even think about that angle. I'm not on your social media feed, or I post too little of you, or I post too much of you, or that was a bad picture of me. And so, holy moly.
I'm trying to tell you.
And then all the people who, when you do post you and your girl, the comments, the opinions,
I'm trying to tell you.
Oh.
But don't forget that this other thing called they can save your picture, but you don't know who saved your picture. A person can bookmark and save your picture. You don't even know who did it. That's number one. That's weird.
Okay, that's interesting. I want to talk about the bookmarking and saving.
Yeah.
And number two, and listen, I am not professing to be great at any of this. I'm learning. Oh. But there's the other one where people can take what you've posted and change it and turn it into something else if you don't turn off your settings.
Yes.
And that scares the hell out of me.
Yeah, they can screenshot it. They can.
I mean, I understand memes are made and is it GIFs or
GIFs? Yep.
Yeah. But to transpose something that I posted and maybe make it something that's offensive to others, or that's scary stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
But
it happens.
Yeah.
It happens a lot. And then, of course, the whole, because it's social media, word can travel fast because you have that little paper airplane you can just.
What the hell is that paper airplane?
You can send it to, so if I see a post of, oh my gosh, I see your man with some woman some else, and it's on her feed, I can send that press that button, send to Lori, and then now word's out that fast.
And not only in your dating life does social media get really dangerous. Employers are looking at your social media.
It's a resume.
It's a resume for everything about you.
Everything.
I just think that is.
That's why now my Instagram is, if you go to my Instagram now, it used to be a lot of personal stuff. It used to be a little bit of everything. Now my Instagram is lifestyle transformations, workout videos, like working out with clients, posting the sponsors, the great sponsors I have, and maybe like one or two personal posts, maybe. But my social media has now become more business.
But see, let's talk about, because I'm a business owner and people are telling me social media. I'm like, I understand, I know. But then so I do professional posts and inspirational posts and posts of my upcoming podcasts with my special guests and those kind of thing. And then my social media team says, all right, we need more personal stuff. They need to find you relatable or that you're a real person.
Yeah.
So now again, it's another balancing act with social media.
Yep.
So I've never been one who liked pictures of myself. So it's hard for me to post a picture. I'm not going to post a picture of food I'm eating because that's just silly to me. I do have a cute French bulldog that I love posting about, but it's just a hard balance.
I would say this because, so I got this quote from Kobe Bryant in an interview. He said, all you do is show them who you are, then kind of tell the story of where you're going and what you're doing. It's almost like, because everything's your brand, right? So if you show your dog and you're already in life coaching, self-care, right? And then you will post the dog, but then you explain in the caption why this dog's important to me. And then you do a call to action. Who else out there is their number one companion, or who else looks to their dog for inspiration, or like that. And then,
I love that.
So when you turn it so it's personal, but it's relatable because it's saying, I know I'm not all these people in this world. There's someone else that's going to relate to you.
Right. I will show him in his bubble bath with his shower cap and smoking a cigarette.
Who else feels days like this? You know what I mean?
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me. And I feel much more comfortable with that because I am who I am. I've never been one that can be anything other than who I am. I've never
Absolutely.
understood acting. Can't do it to save my life. Don't want to know. Appreciate those who do, but I am me.
Yes.
You take it or leave it.
Yes.
Okay, so social media, that's just craziness.
Today's
And
world it makes it so hard.
I know you're in a committed relationship. You're seeing somebody you're going with. I love that term.
I'm going with you.
So much better than boyfriend. This is my boyfriend.
I know.
It just, I'm going with you. Where you going? I like it. Do you get pressured as a man to, when you're dating someone, when you're getting married, when you're getting engaged, when you're having children? Do you feel the pressure? I know women do.
Yeah.
That is the first question we get. So you're going with someone.
Yeah.
Where's this going? Are you getting married?
Right.
And then the minute you get engaged, when's the date?
Yeah. Okay.
And then the minute you get married, when you having kids. I mean, people always want to push you out of the stage you're in,
Yes. Oh my God.
which takes away the joy from that
The
stage.
moment. Yeah.
And impress upon you their expectations of where you should go.
Oh yeah.
And do men feel that kind of pressure?
Yes. But
Really?
yes, I would say a lot of depending on who their family is.
That's true. Does it come from the family? Does it come from friends or?
Well, remember, because if they're a person who's really self-aware, their old programming and conditioning won't have anything to do with how they are with you. But if that old programming and conditioning hasn't changed and they have a tough time thinking for themselves, best believe if mom made it a big point, dad made a big point to, by the time I'm this age, you should be married. This age, I should have white picket fence. Then that's gonna filter into your relationship. So,
100%. We're gonna have to talk about mama boys on another episode.
So I've seen both sides of that coin, and unfortunately for me, my biggest thing is I just want a child. Like I'm at that stage where relationship, yes, of course, but I want a child. So like my pressure on because I see a lot of my friends that really good fathers, and I hear and I've heard sometimes they have that one woman that a lot of women will joke about it. Everyone keeps saying I'm wife material, but I'm not a wife, right? And so mine is I hear a lot of people, male and female, saying, "Man, you'll be a great father. You'll be a great dad. You'll be a great dad." I'm like,
I can say that to you right now, no bullshit. I think you really would. So you're dating with intention, or are you dating with intention as that's the goal?
Oh yeah. Because I have to definitely be now at very, 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 very critical of that in the aftermath. Is this woman?
Because while you don't have a biological clock, or maybe you do, but you're aware of timing now.
Yes.
Okay.
How much more?
And so you're putting the pressure on yourself as opposed to other people putting the pressure on yourself.
You know what part I am putting pressure on myself? Building the foundation and legacy for a child. Because I believe not all men, I don't know if y'all can feel this way, but for me, I'm not worried about having a partner. It's not the partner I'm worried about. It's about being able to provide for that child that's going to come from that partner.
Say that again. Just repeat it so everybody can hear you.
I'm not so much worried about the partner I'm going to be with. I'm more worried about providing the foundation for the child I'm going to have.
And I love that. And that's not to say that you want to raise this child on your own, and that's not to discount the partner that you will have the child with. That is standing strong and knowing your role is just as important as the mother's role. And that you want to make sure, because there's no great time. You'll never be ready to have a child. It's going to happen when it happens. And yes, planning for it is good.
Yes.
But for you to be aware and work towards building a foundation so that your child can start out the gate a little better off is a beautiful thing. Is a beautiful thing. And, we've been friends for a while, and we've had some topics that have enlightened me, and our skin colors are different.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
No, I mean, I'm white. Thank you for, not making a big deal out of it.
Don't worry, if you remember the phone, I think I'm white.
And, I like to have those conversations with you because we can both speak with no judgment. We can educate the other one with no tone.
Yes.
And I'm not, and God, I hope I'm not offending you or anybody else.
Sure.
But there is a perception out there, not only of men who, the wife has the child.
Yes.
And when a divorce happens, more often than not, the child goes with the wife. It's not even an option.
Right.
The mother doesn't think, I'll go over here and see the child every other weekend.
Right.
It never.
Child needs their mother. That's how I say.
It's just, but the father is so important too.
Yes.
And I think that you guys don't get that enough, or you're not appreciated enough. I will tell you, in my family, I have a grandson who went to the hospital,
Mm.
and my daughter, his mother, took him to the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
and we thought he needed emergency surgery.
Yeah.
My daughter was not leaving his side. The father was at work and wasn't there immediately. It's just a different mindset.
Yeah.
And so it's not even a race thing, but I think that we tend to make fathers feel less than a mother, and it shouldn't be.
Yes.
And there are also fathers who don't set the foundation, or don't prepare, or
Yes.
don't take the role as seriously as the mother does. Have you found any perception from your skin color, from your gender, from anything that that it's not your job, that it's,
Well,
anything like that?
let's start with the skin color. They say that African American men cheat or they don't take care of their children. So there's more women that will birth a child by African American man, and they get the perception of being a deadbeat dad. A lot of times that is a. But you know what? If let's bring it back to either forget social media. Let's put it back on television. Let's put it back on media. If you're going to keep showing that, society's going to believe that, right? If all I show you is deadbeat dads, deadbeat dads, deadbeat dads, and they're black, deadbeat dads, deadbeat dads, deadbeat dads.
I was going to ask you where you thought the perception came from.
Media.
Television,
Yeah,
media,
media.
social media, television,
Yep.
movies.
All media. Mm-hmm.
And
All
I
the
don't
media.
think that any television show, social media, any outlet like that is representative of a group, truly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I mean, are they there? Sure. You know, is there stories? If you go into a certain area demographic,
Right.
okay, maybe that is going to be what I do see more often. But then if I take that same thing and then go to another part of the country, what if it's not like that? You know what I'm saying? So it's just funny how that happens. But so in skin color, yes, and then on top of that, I mean, look, you're talking about gender. I see nowadays I'm seeing more women flip the script on the man more than anything.
It's funny because I have heard women say, I just want a child.
Yeah,
I'll do it
yes,
myself.
heard that too.
It doesn't matter about the man. I just need a sperm donor.
Yeah,
see,
I've been proposed with that before.
I don't, that does not surprise me. Well, I mean, but for you to say, it's a lot of things. For you to say, I'm not worried about the partner, doesn't mean you don't want one or value one.
Right.
But you're saying, I know what I have to do to give this child a foundation and be the best dad I can do.
Well, yeah, remember, my father he took part in being the, what would you say? You said take majority custody.
Right.
And so I was very fortunate when, they say a lot of women raise a son, sometimes they'll lose some of the discipline, the values that fathers will bring.
Right. The strength.
Yes. And my dad was very militant in that way, in some ways to a fault, because he had to be in certain respects. But also, I got very, very fortunate because he showed a lot of emotion, and I got to see a man express emotion.
So you weren't told that you can't express it, suck it up, buttercup, any of that.
Exactly. I got both. I got to see the strength and discipline of having a structure, what it's like to be a provider and, be that, but then I also got a chance to see what it was like it's okay to cry and tell my emotions and say how I feel. Okay, that's cool.
I love that, because we were just talking today, and you write poetry.
Yes.
And when you were talking today, you were expressing emotion, that poetry, and that you wanted to go to that emotion.
Yeah.
And I just love that, because men are human. Mm-hmm. You should be able to show emotions, and that's what women want to see. Although we want you to be tough, yet we want you to be soft.
Thank you. Say the
yet
rest.
We want you to be sensitive, yet we want you to be the man of the house.
Right.
You guys probably don't know your ass from your elbow, because we make it crazy for you.
Well, you have to, you know what I've noticed as I'm beginning to, evolve and get older as far as just wiser, I would say you have to have a hard stance on something. You can't
Right.
you can't capitulate to every single thing your partner wants. You have to stand for something all on your own. And if you don't know, find what that is. What's your man, like say man, like what's your code? What's your code of life?
Right.
What do you live for, right? And if you don't have something, then yeah, you're definitely gonna be like that. If you
Right.
don't have something you're gonna stand for, something you're gonna say, no, this is a non what
It's
is it?
a
Oh,
deal breaker.
yeah, deal breaker.
Right.
Exactly. I don't. If you
I
don't have
think,
that,
no, and I think that that's not only true for men, but if you don't have the foundation,
yeah,
it's very easy to get pushed over here or swayed over here.
yes,
And I tell you, as I'm a business owner, I'm a strong personality. I make decisions all day long, but I'm also old fashioned. When I go home, I want to have a partner where we can communicate, but I'm okay if his no is the no.
right.
Because if I really want it, I like to use my superpowers to get that no to be
She
a
said her
yes.
superpowers.
However, you know, I it's hard because we expect you to be the man of the house, or maybe in this day and age, the woman doesn't want him to be the man of the house.
Mm.
The roles that we have set for you keep changing.
Yeah, exactly.
Be strong,
Yeah.
but be sensitive.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know, show your strength, but be tender with me.
We had this conversation last week
Yes.
about it was I can't remember exactly, but I think it had to do with it was unfortunate to be in this part of society now where being traditional is a bad thing.
Right.
That's what we talked about. And now there's which is nothing wrong with women empowerment. I think all people should want each gender to be able to be respected and be able to have equality. Like, let's get that on the table now.
Yes.
Everyone should have equality, and everyone should, have respect.
100%.
Let's
We're
put that
all
out
human
there.
beings at the
Right.
end of the day.
So
So we're not discounting anybody here.
anybody. But why are we mad when a woman says, "Yes, I want my husband to lead"? What? That was the word.
Right.
Submissive.
Right.
The
And
word
then the
submissive.
women get the crap for it.
Yes, because
Yeah.
the woman says, "Oh, I want to be traditional and be more submissive to my
Right.
husband." Or
And if the
partner.
man leads, then he gets the crap from the whole woman's group.
Right?
That,
Yeah.
and
That's
listen,
interesting to me.
I am a strong woman, so I need a strong man.
See?
And there's got to be somebody who has a final say in the house. I mean, yes, we come to agreements
Yes.
all the time. I am just as much an equal as he is.
Yes.
But sometimes, especially for me, when I'm making decisions and I'm responsible for a lot during the day, I just want to go home and I want somebody else to take care of me and it.
But I've noticed a lot of strong women. They're more in a, and I read this in that book too. The new version, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. You're around your masculine energy a lot in those moments.
Right.
At some point, you have to release and put yourself in the feminine energy. And if you don't get a chance to do that when you come home to that person, that means you're not secure with them. You don't have any real trust in them to be able to lead you at all.
100%.
You're not comfortable.
100%. You've got to be able to just sometimes put down the baton or pass it to him and say, it's your turn.
Yes,
I'm tapping you
exactly.
in. And I don't know why we should get crap for that.
No, exactly. Me either.
And look, I don't care how people want to set up their dynamics in their relationship or home, as long as it works for them.
No, it works for them.
I should not impose what works for me on you,
Right?
Because that may not make you happy.
Right.
But why should it make me mad?
Yes.
If you choose to live a different way?
Yep.
That's the part we're missing. That's the dumb part.
Yes.
I mean, as long as you are respectful, a contributing member to society, not hurting anybody, not forcing your lifestyle or expectation on anybody else, why can't you do what you want to do? It's so stupid.
Everyone has an opinion about everything.
I know. And then for me, you're scared to have a conversation because of people's opinions or because of being politically correct or incorrect.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the conversation, you can't learn. You can't know. And I want to know.
Yeah.
It's why I'm so grateful for our relationship.
Yeah.
Because there's, whether it's on this podcast or in the gym or any other time we speak, there is no topic off limits.
Oh yeah.
You know my heart is pure. You know I care about you and would never hurt you.
Yeah.
I trust the same from you.
Absolutely.
And when you say, Lori, I got a question for you, no matter what comes out of your mouth, I am not offended because we're just talking.
Yeah.
And I wish that other people could show that same peace.
Yeah.
But let's go back. Okay. So
Sure.
we've covered a lot of ground. And I love having a young male perspective.
See the young part?
Yes, I know. But it is
I got a gray patch though, man.
no.
My hair's getting grayer by like the month, man.
But for you
Crazy.
guys, that's distinguished and sexy. You put a gray patch on me, and that's not going to go over as well. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference. There's the whole men-women thing.
All right.
Now, as you guys can see, Antonio is quite charming, and he's very articulate. And I say young, but he's not. He's in this. He's not that young.
Almost 35.
There we go. He said it. I didn't. I
Yeah, I
don't
said
feel
it.
bad
It's all
about it.
good.
So he's almost 35. It's a good age for a man. And he's just a great person. And he's also, like I said, very charming. So over the course of our relationship,
Scared.
no, I've learned some things about Antonio that have impressed me with the way he treats the women in his life. And I think that men of any age can learn a little something from Antonio. So I know we've talked for about an hour, and people are probably going, geez, they could do this all day, but they would listen all day
Okay.
because we're cute. But I want you to give some tips, or what would be
Ooh.
what you would tell a man
Ooh.
to do,
Yes.
or a way to treat a woman that would really just make her swoon.
Easy.
Okay.
Well, off the cuff, the first thing always going to come to mind is my main objective, no matter who I'm talking to make them feel as comfortable as possible. I hear more stories about women being so uncomfortable or being in relationships with people that they've been with for years, and they never truly got to be their full self. They never were able to completely let go.
I love that. But how do you do that?
How do I do that? I give a damn about them and what they say and what they care about, and I make it okay to do a back and forth. Tell me about yourself, and I'm actually listening. Like, I'm actually paying attention to the small details of when you say, "Hey," for instance, "Oh my gosh, I remember a time in my life when my grandmother and I would play on the swing, and when I was little, and we'd always sing this song together. Remember that?"
See,
Instantly.
I just want to go back and say a man who listens.
Yes. Well, what we do is here, and I have a cheat sheet. I'm gonna let you guys know this. If I'm dating a woman and she's the woman that I'm attracted to with, right? Men never say you know women. You don't.
I don't even think we know us, but
Right.
True,
I
true.
worked at a well, let's just say an all women's clothing apparel store, Wet Seal.
okay.
I worked there for a whole year. Trust me, it was the best. It was like the best accident I've ever had in my
Oh my
life.
gosh. Did you just use that year to gather information, or you like
Well, at the end of the day, yeah, because that's not why I worked there, but
No,
I mean,
no,
it was a
no.
joke why I worked there.
Yeah.
But it turned into me being there for a year. And the reason why I say that is just understanding women more, and because of that, now when I communicate with women, it's different, and just how I know women's temperance a little bit more. You guys see everything, okay? You guys see everything. Right? Body, everything.
Oh yeah, we
Very
don't miss
instinctual
much.
features, but I just, it's funny because what I've noticed is when you're dating a woman, for men, like men or women, but if you're dating a woman to impress them even more, those little small details, take your phone, okay? And then you put in your phone, the notes area, you make a list, Lori, and then you write down birth date. You write down address in case you want to surprise her with flowers at her door. You write down her favorite ice cream, her hobbies, things she loves, favorite song, type of music, favorite clothing brand, what size she wears, her favorite nail color, what her parents' names, her, if she has relatives, all sisters, and there's like a long list of them from A to B, her dog's name, what was the dog in the past she had, when they passed away, what year they passed away, what was the best time in their life, what's your favorite holiday, everything.
Oh my gosh.
Because you can always resurface that at any time, and they're going to go, oh my gosh, they know me. No man's ever.
I can guarantee you that there's no man that I've ever known that has done something like that, and gone to that length to get to know a woman and hear and remember the details. So I can certainly understand how you would make somebody not only feel comfortable,
Mhm.
but loved and seen.
Right. You need it.
And I love that.
There's
Are you
so
guys
much-
listening to this?
There's so
Oh
much
my
going on,
God.
but there's so much going on in the world, and
Right.
we're consumed by so many things trying to pull our attention. But I want to remember everything about you because you're important. So maybe I should save this thing about you for another date.
And you are definitely making that person feel important. And
You know
this
what I'm
doesn't have to be a guy thing.
Exactly.
Women, we do tend to remember things a little more than
Yeah, you
men.
do. Yeah, you do.
But
you do.
but to make your partner feel heard, seen, important, comfortable.
Yeah.
Because when your partner's comfortable, you get the best out of them. They are
Say that
truly
again.
their authentic self.
100%.
And it is amazing when you're
Mhm.
with the right person
Yeah.
to not have any walls, any bullshit from the past.
Yes.
I mean, you reap the benefits of doing that for somebody.
And here's the kicker: when you allow them, or you treat them in such a way that allows them to be that authentic
Right.
self, 100%. Trust and believe when they leave you, they're gonna feel it
100%.
because they won't.
I was going to say, I don't know. It'd have to be something pretty egregious for you to make a woman feel like that and her to not want to be with someone who
Right.
cares for her so deeply.
That same emotion.
Yeah.
So 9 times out of 10, if you're doing all the things we just got done talking about, they're gonna feel the difference pretty quickly.
So let me ask you this. You're in a current relationship.
Okay.
In your phone, under your girl's name,
Yeah.
do you have a page, a paragraph, a few sentences? How well do you know this girl?
Look.
Oh, I got to put my glasses on for
Look
this.
here. Look, I'm gonna do this for you.
You are. He is not kidding. He is not.
I'm not playing. I'm not joking.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not playing.
Now, what I love about this, number one, I knew you weren't playing, and you are really not playing.
But to the length of it, the
That's
detail.
it's the detail.
Yep.
Because not only there's just no way that your significant other cannot feel loved, appreciated, important, and heard.
No.
I don't care who you are. The most important thing to people in relationships that I've come across in my 30 years of doing this
Wow.
is they just want to feel heard.
Wow. Yeah.
And you are definitely accomplishing that. So everybody, pay attention to your partner.
Yes.
Take notes. Remember what's important to them, what they like, who they are.
Yes.
So you can reap the benefits. What else? Give us one more before we have to go. And yes, ladies, Antonio will come back. But give us one more.
Ooh. Never think that you're the ish. Always be humble. Always be humble. When you start thinking that you're really that thing, that ish, you're not. And it's better to play that way. Have confidence, right? But to play like, I don't know how to even word that another way.
Watch your ego.
Watch your ego.
There
you
is
go.
always somebody
Yeah.
bigger, better, stronger,
Yeah.
smarter.
But
however,
I feel like women always find it sexy when you're not the guy who needs to boast and brag when they find out on their own.
it's that swag. It's that quiet confidence.
Yes, that.
It's that sexy stride,
right,
where we know you know.
Yes,
But
exactly.
you don't have to tell us.
Thank
you
that.
know.
That exactly.
Yes.
That.
There is a saying, and in fact, my significant other has it tattooed. He's got this really cool face of a lion
Okay.
on his heart, and it says, "Stay hungry, stay humble."
Agreed.
And I think you always have to. Well, you don't always have to do anything except breathe, die, and pay taxes. But it's a good thing to always have something you're striving for.
Yes.
So that's the stay hungry part.
Yep.
Number 2, enjoy the journey and not just the destination, but stay humble.
Yeah.
Because it's that sexy, silent swag.
Oh yeah.
That women will just. I'm telling you what, you have a sexy, silent swag. You take those notes. I think a woman, until death do us part, because they're not going anywhere.
Well, because like I said, not to go for it, not too deep into it again, but if you're trying to get with this woman, especially for men that have a hard time, or a man that just has a hard time talking, it just helps. She's the test, and she's the test that you're always going to study for. And you're going to keep evolving.
That.
So why would you not want to have a cheat sheet for the test. How come we're in the car, you're in a bad mood? Oh, I got this cheat sheet. I know the favorite song to put on and put you in a good mood.
Oh my God. Just those little nuggets right there.
You know?
Just if you remember nothing else but her favorite song to put on when she's in a bad mood. I mean, those are the things. Wouldn't you want anybody to know that about you? I don't think it necessarily should be just a romantic relationship,
Right.
but a
But a
friendship.
friendship. Yeah.
You know, let's not get kind of crazy and do it to your boss or anything weird like that,
Right.
but really get to know somebody.
Yes.
Pay attention.
Attention.
Antonio, that is probably one of the most romantic, best pieces of advice you could give out there. All those
Yeah.
other men you're putting to shame right now. And I love that.
Yeah.
And I would love to have you back again. I don't know. Perhaps we should do like a weekly or semi-monthly relationship podcast and just
Oh,
from the
yeah.
woman perspective, the male perspective, because I know that you've got a lot more to share than what we've actually touched on today. But I do, yeah, we'll bring it out of them. Don't worry. I do love these podcasts. I hope that we not only made something enjoyable for you to listen to, but you learned a little something. It made you go, hmm. And for women, I hope maybe you got to see a male perspective. And from a male perspective, I hope you got to see a woman perspective and that you were listening to Antonio's tip, because I haven't heard a better one in a very, very long time.
It's good.
Yes. Thank you so much for being here today.
100%.
We're going to do this again because I'm addicted to it now.
Yeah,
And we just have such a good time together. Again, my name is Lori Wood. I'm a certified divorce specialist, life coach, creator of Divorce WTF podcast, family law mediator. And all I want to say in closing is be kind to yourself today. Change the self-talk from negative to positive. Pay attention to others. Really hear them. And have a great day. Take care. Thank you so much, Antonio.